Now our next topic is property of ROC. Okay, before we discuss the property of ROC, let's discuss few Z transformation of few signal. So suppose find the Z transformation of x of n is equal to a to the power n u of n and mod a is less than 1. Okay, now how to find Z transformation? Simply we put the value of x of n in formula and we'll get Z transformation. So x of z is summation of n is equal to from minus infinity to infinity x of n z to the power minus n. Now put the value of x of n here, so it will be summation of n is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity. What is x of n? That is a to the power n u of n, right? So this is a to the power n into u of n into z to the power minus n. Now if we put u of n, so what is u of n? U of n is only derived for the right side of the signal, right? This is u of n from 0 to infinity. The magnitude will be 1. What about the left side? Left side it will be equal to 0, right? So if we are using u of n, our summation will become from 0 to infinity. Okay, or we can write from minus infinity to minus 1 it will be 0 because u of n will be equal to 0, and from 0 to infinity it will be 1. Okay, therefore this summation will be from n is equal to 0 to plus infinity a to the power n into z to the power minus n. Now how to expand this one? See, so we start from 0 to infinity, so a to the power n into z to the power minus n, where n is equal to 0, right? So it will be equal to 0, or I put here 1. Okay, let's take n as common. Okay, so a to the power 1 into z to the power minus 1 to the power 0 plus a into z inverse to the power 1 plus a into z to the power minus 1 to the power 2. Okay, plus like this it will go. So x of z is equal to, first term is 1 divided by 1 minus a into z to the power minus 1. Okay, if we talk about ROC, see this is right sided signal. Okay, this is right sided signal, right? Okay, so we can write this as z divided by z minus a. Okay, because this is z inverse. What is z inverse? 1 by z, right? So take LCM and you will get z by z minus a. Now this is right sided signal, right? So for the right sided signal, see u of n, right? So this implies that this is right sided signal. So for the right sided signal, put z mod of z minus a, or you can directly put it from here, this a into z inverse mod of a into z inverse should be less than 1. Okay, so it should be a by z, which is less than 1, or we can tell a mod of a is less than mod of z, or mod of z is greater than mod of a. Okay, so mod of z is greater than mod of a. How we are going to plot this? So suppose this is a. Okay, so make a circle and region of convergence should be greater than a, magnitude of a. So the region of convergence should be outside this. Okay, if the value of a is less than 1, then we can tell our system is stable because it consists of unit circle. Okay, now we'll check all this thing in property of ROC. Okay, we simply see how to find the z transformation of this signal a to the power n u of n, then minus a to the power minus a to the power n u of minus n minus 1, that is left sided signal. Okay, so for left sided signal, like a to the power minus a to the power n u of minus n minus 1, right? So for this you will get z transformation as 1 by 1 minus a z inverse. Okay, so this is left sided signal, so mod of a into z inverse should be greater than 1. Okay, so this will be a by z should be greater than 1 and mod of a should be greater than z, or we can tell mod of z should be less than mod of magnitude of a. Now here we can tell the region of convergence should be less than a. Okay, now what about delta function for del n? We have seen two type of function. First one is right sided signal. This is right sided signal and this is left sided signal. Okay, now what about delta n? So for delta n, z transformation is 1, so ROC here in this case ROC is entire z plane. Okay, except z is equal to 0. Now what about simple function like u of n? Okay, so for this, for step function, just put value of a is equal to 1 here. Okay, just put value of a is equal to 1 here. So what we'll get as a z transformation, that will be 1 by 1 minus z inverse, right? So this will be 1 by 1 minus z inverse. Here region of convergence should be, that time we got greater than a, or we can tell here it should be greater than 1 because we put the value of a is equal to 1. Okay, see here just put the value of a as 1. So what will be the z transformation of u of n? Then that will be 1 by 1 minus a is 1, so 1 by 1 minus z inverse. Okay, now what is the property of ROC? See, our first property is ROC does not contain any pole. Okay, does not contain any pole. Okay, and ROC, what is ROC? RO is a circle along the unit circle. Okay, so ROC, region of convergence, is a circle along with the unit circle. Okay, and third is, for right sided sequence, ROC is entire z plane except z is equal to 0. Okay, so for right sided sequence, ROC is entire z plane. Okay, except z is equal to 0. Similarly, for left sided signal, for left sided sequence, ROC is entire z plane except see, for left sided signal our ROC was moving towards 0. Okay, so ROC should be entire z plane except z is equal to infinity. Okay, but if you have the finite length of sequence, then for finite length of sequence, ROC is entire z plane except there should be some region. Okay, so except 0 and infinity, except z is equal to 0 and z is equal to infinity. Okay, so for right sided signal, ROC is outside the circle whose radius is largest pole in the magnitude. Suppose you have right sided signal. Okay, so one is at radius of 1 by 3 and another is at radius of 2 by 3. Okay, so which ROC we are going to consider, because in this also ROC is outside the circle, like this. ROC is outside the circle. Okay, and for 2 by 3 also ROC is outside the circle. Okay, so remember that we always consider the common ROC. So the ROC of right sided signal is outside circle whose radius is largest pole in the magnitude. So here 2 by 3 is larger than 1 by 3, right? 2 by 3 is larger than 1 by 3. So we can tell that this should be our region of convergence, that is greater than 2 by 3. We cannot tell the region of convergence should be greater than 1 by 3. Okay, so if you still have doubt in this, it will get clear when we were solving the question. So don't worry about it. Just think like you have two signal. So both the signal is outside, the region of convergence for both the signal is outside the circle. So which region of convergence we need to select? That is that you need to select the largest pole. Okay, for left sided signal, so I mention here, wait, now for left sided signal, suppose you have pole at 3, okay, and you have another pole at 2, okay, and region of convergence, both are the left sided signals. So obviously region of convergence for 3 is inside the circle and region of convergence for 2 should be inside this circle. Okay, so which region of convergence we need to select? So we will select the common region of convergence, that is this one. Okay, so for left sided signal, ROC is inside a circle whose radius is smallest in the magnitude. So this radius is smallest in the magnitude. That's why we need to select the region of convergence inside the circle of radius 2. Okay, okay, so for left sided signal, ROC is inside a circle whose radius is the smallest pole in magnitude. Now what about two sided signal? Okay, first is, suppose you have two signal. For the first signal, region of convergence is outside the circle, and for the second signal, region of convergence is inside the circle. So this should be our common ROC. Okay, so for two sided signal, ROC is bounded by the largest and the smallest pole radius. This is the largest radius and this is the smallest radius. Okay, quickly solve one question so that we'll get more clear idea about this topic, about the property of ROC. So I'll take example and try to find the signal first, and then we are going to find the causality and stability of the right sided, left sided and two sided signal. Okay, so I'll take here example, x of z is equal to 1 divided by 1 minus 1 by 2 z inverse into 1 plus 3 z inverse. Okay, now first we will do the partial fraction. X of z is equal to a divided by 1 minus 1 by 2 z inverse plus b divided by 1 plus 3 z inverse. Okay, we all know how to do partial fractions, so if you calculate this you will get the value a is equal to 1 by 7 and b is equal to 6 by 7. Okay, now put this value a and b in this equation x of z, so you will get 1 by 6 divided by 1 minus 1 by 2 z inverse plus 6 by 7 divided by 1 plus 3 z inverse. Okay, now so I'll put all the three condition, all the three signal, right sided signal, left sided signal and two sided signal. So first we'll find the inverse Laplace transformation, that is inverse Laplace transformation of this one, that will be x of n should be equal to, now compare this with these equation. Okay, see, a to the power n u of n is z transformation of this one is 1 by 1 minus a z inverse. Okay, so here instead of 1 by 1 minus a z inverse, this is 1 by 6 divided by 1 minus, instead of a we are using 1 by 2. Okay, so I write it here, a to the power n u of n, so z transformation of this one is 1 by 1 minus a z inverse. Okay, so just compare the inverse Laplace transformation of the inverse z transformation of this one should be a to the power n u of n, right? So inverse z transformation of this one is 1 by 6, I'll take 1 by 6 common, so it will be 1 by 1 minus, so this will be, instead of a I am using 1 by 2 to the power n into, I am not mentioning here this is right sided or left sided. Okay, plus 6 by 7, instead of a I am using 3, so this will be 3 to the power n, or this should be minus 3. Okay, because of plus sign here. Okay, so this will be minus 3 to the power n. Right now I am not going to mention whether this is right sided signal or left sided signal, that's why I left this place blank. Okay, so first I'll take a condition, if it is a right sided signal, just stick with me, you will get to know why I left this place. If this is right sided signal, then x of n is equal to 1 by 6 1 by 2 to the power n, this should be u of n, plus 6 by 7 minus 3 to the power n u of n. Okay, so what about the region of convergence? Here mod of z should be greater than, because it is right sided signal, so mod of z should be greater than a, that is mod of 1 by 2, and this is for this one, and for this one I don't need to include this 1 by 6 and 6 by 7, so I guess this is 1 by 7. Yeah, so this is 1 by 7 actually, sorry for this mistake. Now so this is minus 3 to the power n u of n, so mod of z should be greater than mod of a, that is mod of minus 3. Okay, now how to draw this? See, first I draw unit circle. Okay, now so this one is mod of z is greater than 1 by 2, so 1 by 2 is somewhere here. Okay, just draw a circle, and mod of z should be greater than 1 by 2, right? And in the next signal mod of z is greater than mod 3, which is nothing but mod of z is greater than 3. So suppose we have 3 here, this is 1 by 2, this is 3, so let's draw a circle. Okay, so these two circles we got, this one and this one. Okay, so what will be our region of convergence? So region of convergence should be outside the circle whose radius is largest pole in magnitude. So radius is largest, pole in magnitude means here the largest radius is 3, so region of convergence should be outside this. Okay, so see, for this also region of convergence is outside 1 by 2, right? Outside 1 by 2, but we are not going to consider this one because it doesn't contain any common ROC. So what about the causality, whether this is causal or non-causal signal, or whether this is stable and unstable system? How we are going to find this? So this is causal signal and this is unstable signal. Why this is causal signal? Because this is right-sided signal. And what make this unstable? Because it doesn't contain the unit circle. The ROC doesn't contain the unit circle. That's why it is unstable. Okay. Now, what if we use here u of minus n minus 1, that is left sided signal? So let me take the next example, that is left sided signal. So for left sided, what will be x of n? X of n will be equal to 1 by 7 1 by 2 to the power n u of minus n minus 1, okay, plus 6 by 7 minus 3 to the power n u of minus n minus 1. So here I have mentioned this is a left sided signal. Okay, now so for this, mod of z should be less than 1 by 2, less than mod of a. Okay, because this is left sided. If this would be right sided, then we have to use mod of z is greater than mod of 1 by 2. Since this is left sided signal, I am putting here mod of z is less than mod of 1 by 2. Now similarly here mod of z is less than mod of z is less than mod of minus 3, or we can tell mod of 3. Okay, now how to draw ROC? So this is the unit circle, this is the unit circle. Now mod of z is less than 1 by 2, so ROC should be less than 1 by 2 inside the circle, and this is 1 by 2, and mod of z is less than minus 3, so this is 3, so mod of z should be less than minus 3. So what should be ROC? This should be our ROC. Okay, because ROC of second signal is inside the circle because this is less than minus 3, mod of z is less than minus 3, so ROC should be inside the circle which radius is 3, and for this also ROC is inside the circle for the whose radius is 1 by 2. So this is the common area, this is the common region of convergence. Okay, so this is our ROC of this signal. So ROC of this signal is mod of z is less than 1 by 2. Now what about the causality, and what about the stability of the system, whether this is causal or non-causal signal? How we are going to determine this? See, if this is left sided signal, we can tell that this is non-causal signal. Or what about the stability? Does this ROC contain the unit circle? No. So this is not stable. Okay. What about the two-sided signal? Okay. Suppose this is greater than 1. Sorry, this is the right sided signal and this is the left sided signal. Okay, So I'll put the first signal as the right sided signal and second signal as a left sided signal. So x of n is equal to 1 by 7 1 by 2 to the power n u of n. Okay, so this is the right sided signal plus 6 by 7 minus 3 to the power n u of minus n minus 1. Okay, so this one is right sided and this one is left sided. So for right sided, mod of z should be greater than a. For left sided, mod of z should be less than mod of minus 3. So what will be the region of convergence? First we'll draw unit circle. Now first is mod of z is greater than 1 by 2. Okay, so this is the circle of radius 1 by 2. So mod of z is greater than 1 by 2. Second, z is less than 3. So this is the circle of radius 3. So here region of convergence is less than 3. So here here the region of convergence should be less than 3. It means the ROC is inside the circle, right? So this is the common ROC. This is the common ROC, right? So this is our ROC with limit 1 by 2 to 3. Okay, so we can tell Z region of convergence lies between 1 by 2 and 3. Now the signal will be causal if it is right sided signal. So this is not the right sided signal, right? So we can tell this signal is non causal, and since it contains the unit circle here, see, it contains the unit circle, so we can tell our system is stable. Okay, so like this we can find the causality and stability of the system.